Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinars, part 2. If you're one of my YouTube viewers, the part 1 is out on Sunday now. We'll try to get part 2 out on Sunday next week, which means you're going to have all the daily webinars on Sunday. You can start viewing them early and be prepared for Monday. Because the reason I'm doing it that is a lot of traders are asking, can it be earlier? People in Asia and who are in the London session, so if they can get it much earlier so they can prepare for trade setups that they see. Great, no problem. We'll try to do that. So you're going to get it on Sunday, and don't forget to set your notification and subscribe to the video, because we're going to do more during the week. You should be watching the one that I posted, the 400 pips move on the CAD. We will follow up with it. Right? It's not ready for a buy as yet. It's still going to go down some more, but then we will follow up with it when we're taking the buy for the big move. If there are any shorter moves in between, you will get that during the weekly outlook. So keep following it and we'll see where that goes. This is the second part with the cryptocurrencies and some of the indices and stocks that we're looking at. Let's start with Bitcoin. Daily structure, Bitcoin is still in the daily correction. And like I said, when it comes to this low, you have to just always look for when it's going to make the up move. I explained this in details. We'll probably do a webinar for you guys on this. Is that you will always buy. Every buy setup you get. When you think that this is about to finish, what it's finished, every buy setup is a buy. You should take it, whether or not it goes. Right? So this one, if you took the buy, it didn't go, you get out of the trade. There's a lot of, you had endless opportunity to get out for profit. Right? We were looking for a buy setup above here. That didn't go. You take that out. Now, that might still be a buy with this, but rather than put the buy setup there, if we get a buy setup here, we'll take it. Can it actually go make a new low? Of course, that is possible. Now, I wouldn't look at this as all the correction if we're making a new low. If this is going to make a new low, I would be looking for a bigger flat, because this would be the first, like this, for example. See, that sharp move was not all the correction. It took a lot of this before you said, okay, that could be all the correction. Now it drops. So if this is going to drop one more, then what is going to happen is you might see this become the B part of it, going back up to the top, then break the low, and then go back up. It will go back up. When it was top here, I told you it was going to come up. I'm telling you, it will go back up. And it's going to go back up very fast now. Chances are it might not even go lower than this low, because that's a perfect running flat pattern. Now, here is the thing. When it goes back up, would this actually be the final impulse to the upside before it comes back into a very long time, what you will call bearish market? We call it correction. Would it be? Not necessarily. This could still become an extended running flat. This thing could stay here for a while and then break the top. And this could be the biggest correction, with all of these being the first impulse, and this is the big correction, and then you go. We don't know that as yet. That's the unknown, right? But here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's doing that. It has to go up to do that. So the next possible move in any complex pattern is the upside. The next possible move, if this is all the correction, is upside. So for trading purposes, you're looking for buy setups. If you get a buy setup at the bottom here, you should take it. Do we have any buy setup? Not as yet. Right now, actually, this would have been a sell setup. Not that I would sell it. Not that I would advise you to sell it also at the bottom here. It's not selling at the bottom. It's buying at the bottom. Selling was from the top. So you're trying to say, if this is going to go up, let me get into the buy. You don't have a buy setup here. Now, can this actually go up like that? Well, you'll have to wait for a flag to get the trade to confirm that. What a flag looks like, this could be a flag, this could be a flag. Now, if you can't identify which flag is going which direction and how it's behaving, you join us. We'll do that. We'll teach you to do it, and then you'll become part of a community that is well-trained, successfully doing that, right? So, and a very large community. So we're gonna look for, this is not an impulse. I think this is more of a correction right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this drops a little more. Again, I don't think this is the one that is going to drop through the low, but it doesn't matter to me. I don't think it should matter to you. You shouldn't be trying to sell Bitcoin now. You're setting yourself up for a huge surprise. If it makes a big flag, yes. If this turns out to be a big correction here, yeah, you can sell. That's almost going to guarantee you an impulse equal to this. So you can get the hell out of it. If it comes back really fast, you can get out before you get any loss. You can get out for positive. Otherwise, to that, let's wait. Remember this one? That's a good example of it, right? One sharp move, then they did this, and they come back and then go, right? So this is just one little piece of a sharp move. And this big one becomes one sharp move. If this becomes the corrective structure, go there, come back here, possible. Wait for the flag. Ethereum, pretty much the same thing. It's coming down. Can it be the start of the upside from here? Absolutely. You can also make an argument that this is equal to this and that this is the running flat and we're going up. But we don't know that as yet. Again, you don't know that as yet. You'll make an assumption, you'll wait for the setups, and if you get the setups, you'll take the trade. So what do I mean take the trade? Well, just like this was a running flat, you could have bought that, right? You could have, I don't see the buy here, but there was a flag to buy here. If you get another flag here, buy. As a matter of fact, if you get, you're likely going to have a flag here. Very likely. If that becomes a flag, by worst case, it's going to come to this top and come back down. The good case is a breakthrough. Can you put an entry order there? Yeah, that entry order was there when it was this level. When it goes so deep, the entry order is too far away for that, right? So you can put it still. You put that entry order, if there's a sudden movement and you don't get any flag. Well, it spikes up, I don't know, all the way to about 300 or 380. Then you don't get, sorry, above 300, 380, you don't get a chance to enter. Well, then yes, the entry order is good. But for now, that entry order is not a good one. It's too far away. Wait for a flag at the bottom here, take the trade. What changes make you don't take the buy? Well, if this comes back deep into here and start to do this, that's a sell setup. Right now, we're waiting for a buy setup. This one doesn't have a buy setup. I said it before, and I don't think it has a buy setup. Now, we're actually making a huge flat here. See that? I think we can make an argument that this is actually making a huge flat here. And that means we have to come down one more. But the downside is not pretty huge. You should probably come to about here. And this could be 1, 2, 3, and up again. Because this does have a flat. This is, it's a weird pattern. We'll have to see whether we have a contracting flat or something like that in there. And I think that's that what we go for, a contracting flat. But this pattern is pretty nice, which means when they come here, you can look for buy setups. But let it drop first. Can it drop all the way to the bottom here? Possible. If it comes to the bottom, it still is going to go back up before it drops, because this would be the B part in this structure. What's the bigger picture telling us? The bigger pattern is, well, it can go up from here. Absolutely no problem going up from there. It can also come down from that level, which means it can come and tag the low if you look at this as a running flat. I don't think we're looking at that as a running flat right now. We do have a big flat here. But if so, then this could come back to the low. If not, you're just going to break the low here and go back to the top there, after which you come down. So there could be a pretty big trade once you break out of that structure. If it confirms a breakout, there's a big trade to the upside. So how would you get in the trade? Wait for this to break the low first and look for any buy setup, right? Allow this to break the low, let it drop beyond the low, and then look for any buy setup you get here. Take the trade. It's manageable, right? It will be an easy trade to manage if you trade it that way. So let's wait to see. By the way, that's the next important thing you should know, that sometimes we take these trades, and if they don't go and we figure out there's a structural change in the pattern, and I mean patterns on very low level, 1 hour patterns, 4 hour patterns, you get a hell out of the trade and you wait for the next setup. I think we're getting a running flat here. It's probably going to go a little more, but this very likely looks like a running flat. So you're probably going to go down. This is the correction. You're going to go down, break this low. So I wouldn't go with this buy setup here. Even if it spikes up, potentially it's not the best buy setup. This could be a better buy setup. Did we tag the low? Let's see if we broke the low. You always wanted to break the low. They tagged it. That is enough. Because in some trading platform, you might consider that breaking it as well, right? So, and we don't know whether this wick is exactly where it is as printed, right? It could be here. Each platform might have their own size of that wick. All right, so at this point, if you get a correction, a flag here, this is a buy setup. And whether you can, this might all be one big correction, but it doesn't matter. It has to go back to the top. The only way you would look for sell setups here is if this actually comes back down here, consolidate here, then you can say, well, yeah, maybe one more low before they go. It's possible. It's not impossible to make more lows, but once you tag the low, we can consider that over. The thing about this piece here is we have to decide whether we're going to put this as a big expanding flat or whether this is a correction of its own. Both of those are possible, right? Depending on how you look at what's happening in here. And, you know, let's see this, to know whether this is a correction of its own, We will know in a year time. A year from now, we'll know that. Right now, you wouldn't really know that. But because you've moved back so much to the bottom, which means you've corrected quite a lot of this, there's a good chance you could be looking for your next move up. Now, can it actually do this? Literally start doing this and then go? Very much possible. But if you're buying, every time it makes an up move, you can exit, makes an up move, exit, make an up move. This one was flat, more or less, but if you go in the 1 hour, it's not that flat. This is the same thing. You could probably end up like a 1 hour looking like this before it goes up. So buys are good, sells are very dangerous because you're not guaranteed that it's going to come back to this level here. So when you're so low, when you've made so much pullback, you're looking for buy setups. And if you get a flag here, that would be a good buy setup. As long as you break the low, you start looking for buy setup. Okay, this one would be more like this. I don't think we look at it. 1 second, let's take this off and see. Could it still be a running flat? No, this is too sharp for that. So I'll probably put this as a separate correction of its own. Can it be a separate correction of its own? You probably get a small correction there. You get a bigger one in here, contracting flat in there. A bigger correction drop. It's upside. It's still upside. That doesn't change structurally. This is a correction. So if you get a buy setup here, take it, but be cautioned because you're still in the correction. If you get a flag here, it's a trade, but back to the top there. Hope that it breaks out. It could still come back down, or you could still go sideways like this. Either way, you're going to get break even. If it goes sideways, you get small win or break even. If it takes off, you get the trade. If it comes here and coming back, you still get a small profit. So it doesn't matter what happens to this, you're going to get out of that trade for positive if you get a flag. It's about to make a flag, so why not wait for that? Wait for a flag here and then go with the trade. Actually, what's the big picture of this? Upside. I don't know where the hell this come from. This is all I have, but this is upside. Right? So with a correction like that, it's pretty good upside. And it's cheap at this point to buy, right? If you're a long-term investor, if you want to invest in it long-term, this is a good point to buy, even if you have to live through the break of the low again. Doesn't matter. Wait until this breaks the low. Even if it comes back here, you can probably look for a buyback to this level, but that could be a running flat and they can drop. Right? So it might eventually break the low before it goes. It will have to definitely break this low, which is 1, 2, 3, and then go back up. Right, so this one might be too early for the buy, but you can take the chance. And I don't think this is making a big expanding flat here. We were looking for that when it was at this point, whether this would be a running flat, right? Whether this here would be a running flat. And that would have made sense had this gone up back to the top there, right? But it didn't, it actually stopped short. So I still don't want to look at this as an expanding flat for now, at least not as yet. If you get a flag, take the trade it up back to this level and then put it to break even. If it comes down back, you get break even, you wait for this to get the buy setup to go. It will still be a buy setup. On the daily, they're all buy setups. They're all at the bottom, right? They're all at the bottom. And this one is way at the bottom. This is all I have, but even if this is 1, 2, 3, it's about time it go. You have divergence, absolutely. Yep, see? So you can start to look for your buy setups as soon as this low is broken, but take it now, put it to break even and see what happens. What if they're going to take off from this point? And that is an expanding flat that I don't want to look at. It's possible. TRX. Okay, this one is coming down, but really slow. So if you're selling it, you're taking break even. It's coming really slow. That's kind of weird that it's coming so slow, because when they go so slow, it's more of a correction. This becomes the impulse. This becomes the corrective part. This should go back up there, come back down, because I see this is a running flat possibility. Come there, come back here, and then look for the buy. Why buy this? Buy the one I just showed you previously. That's a better buy than this one. You're looking for buys. Just to make it simple for all of you. If you're trading crypto now, I don't care which crypto you're trading, you're looking for buy setups. They're all at the bottom, right? At least the ones I'm looking at. If you see one that is at the top coming down, please let me know. But all of them that I have looked at so far, they're all at the bottom point. Can they go a little lower? Of course. If you're trading without leverage, you don't have to worry about that. Just buy and hold, right? If you're long term, because you might not catch the exact bottom, right? Can you get in and get out? And if it makes a spike and start to come back, absolutely. That's what we do here every day. Get in, get out, and get in back again. Right? That's the good thing about it. So this one, and you should be trading these things without leverage. I mean, or very, very low leverage, 5-to-1 maximum, right? Because you don't want to be stuck with this and you're in huge leverage. It's going to kill you. Like one guy said, why not trade this because it's so volatile? And the question could be the opposite. Why trade this because it's so volatile? Which means if you're using leverage, you don't want that kind of volatility. If you're on the wrong side, you're done. You're broken. If you're on the right side, yes, you make a ton of money. But what if you're on the wrong side? What if it's, I don't know, a big movement goes against you suddenly? And it happens on these things quite a lot. And that would be part of a structure of some kind. We know that. But then if you're trading with a lot of leverage and you're over leveraging and over trading in your account, you're probably going to lose it. And your thought is that you're hoping to make a lot of money. You could watch it blow your account and then go in the direction you thought it was going to go. So you rather use it with little leverage. It means you have some kind of cryptocurrency in your pocket. There's no leverage to it. You don't have to worry about it. It will go up eventually. They will all probably go up at least one more time. Looking at the structures, there is at least one more up in all of them. If you take Bitcoin as, I don't know much about it, but most people like to say Bitcoin is the leading one in it. Let's assume that is right. I'll take you, I'll assume you guys are right about that, which means Bitcoin has one more move up. They will all go up one more. Find the one you like. Dash. Yep, this one could go up from here. You could assume that this is making a bigger flat, even if it just comes back here and then come again down there, right? Because we have a sharp wave here and we know that this is likely not going to be the one that takes off. Too many sharp waves. I don't see the corrective structure in it as yet, but buy here, sure, why not? Buy, exit, wait for a buy again. Every time you break that low, buy. Link. This one it's going to go back up. It's going to go back up here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a running flat and they drop one more because we haven't broken this low. They'll have to come back here. Even if you're making a bigger correction like this, you'll have to break this low. So there's a buy to this level. There's a buy up. There's a buy here if you want to buy this to this level, but then it doesn't necessarily have to go all that, right? There's a buy setup that could happen if you get a flag, but the chance of this coming down is higher. The chances of, I don't know, some of them coming down is less. So you'll have to choose whichever one you want to. And on the daily, it's at the bottom. Again, in the daily, it's at the bottom of a correction, right? This was the first impulse down. Sorry, this one, I would take this as the first impulse. You can actually take this as making the flat. You can take this as breaking this low, going back up, maybe coming back down here and then go. Because all of this could still be the flat. Now, we'll have to go into it in a lower time frame and see how many pieces we have in it to tell you what's the exact pattern is. But I'm giving you an idea on the daily because there could be pattern. There could be more waves in here that I'm missing on the sharp piece. There could be 2 or 3 sharp waves in there that, if we don't, we might be missing. I still think this looks like the most corrective piece in it. Can it go up from here? And they might even break that low and then go back up. So at least watch this range. Keep the range. You're still in this range. And I don't think you're breaking out of that range. I'll take the first one. We broke the top, we broke the low. So we'll go with expanding flat. Right. I'll take this to be a 1, 2, 3 for an expanding flat, go back to the top and then come back down. So from this point, at some point in here, you'll start to see it up move. Let it break this low first. Pretty easy, right? Let it break the low. You have a setup here for a sell forming. Let this break the low and then look for it, which means every single one of them might make a new low before they go up. That. Also the same thing, you can see this, let it break the low, this low, and then go. They're all showing you the same thing. This one is consolidating. It probably will even come back to the top here first and then drop and then go. So this is a flat pattern right now. See that? It's a flat pattern. It's going to come back to this low. This is the range. I think we're going to tag this low again. Making it like, see this flat here? Kind of making something like that, coming back to this top, making a flat here, dropping here, and then go back up. Okay, this one is going to break out. This should come back here. At this point, you could either come back down again, or you could go and break the top, but then that might be a flat. That might still be a flat for downside. So there's more downside. Do we have a low we need to break? Let's look back to the daily. Not necessarily, but it can just go lower. There's no low to break because this is the first move down. You're in the first move down. This is the one of the few ones that I see the first move down. So you're still in this move. So this still looks like a flat here, which means if this comes here, break out there, it's going to probably come back here because this would be a flat. Come back here and then look for buy setups. Maybe that would be enough to go. By the way, no divergence here. So this would be divergence when you eventually break that low. And then look for the upside. This is coming down. If you sold it, you want to hold it, you want to take it out. It's still going down, put it to break even, leave it. If they drop more, can it actually make a more complex pattern by coming back here, do this and then drop? Possible. Worst case is you get break even now if you're in the trade. If you're in the sell, you have break even. You don't have to worry. You can actually close it and put a sell here if you want. All right, close it, put a sell there. If it drops, it's going to break this low. If it goes up, you wouldn't be in the trade. This one is breaking out, but this didn't break the top, right? This didn't break that top. This is the highest, which makes me think we're going to probably do this, come back here, go up there, and then drop. This would become like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go back up there for a 1, 2, 3, make a bigger flat and then come down. So we're not going anywhere with this. And this one. Yep, look for a buy setup within this one, right? This can go up more and it can actually take off, right? It can actually take off all the way back to the top here. See? Can it go very fast like this or can it go very slow like this? A fast move, pull back, fast move, pull back, which means I don't know which one it's going to do. But an upside is possible. And if you get a buy setup here, you should take it. All you need is a flag right now and you're ready for the trade. Right? If it gives you a flag here, take the trade. It stops somewhere in here to go down back, put it to break even. It continues to go good for you. So that's for crypto. Like I said, it's pretty fast. I'm going to do some of the stocks and the indices we looked at, very few of them. Let's go very fast. Natural gas. Look for a buy setup. It will consolidate here some more. I think this is going to consolidate here some more and we'll look for that trade up. Let's go. Okay, you can look for a sell setup here. It's still not ready, but you can wait. Either you take the flag or you take the entry under the low. This is still not the low. This is going to go up a little more. It's consolidating here, so they'll probably just do this and then drop here. This is the trade you're looking for, actually. Let's go. US oil. Okay, consolidating now. We can clearly say they're consolidating in this range. So now that we're in the range, let's see what's next. Can you look at this as a 1, 2, 3 there? Yep. This is a very small flag here in the 15 minutes that might come back here and then start the upside. You're going to get one more of this, then you're going to get one more of that, and then you get a perfect flat for upside. So this piece might drop a little here, break this low, go back up like this, come down back like that. Maybe even a few more, because if you look at this as the flat, no, this one, sorry, this one, we already have this here, this here. So one more down and then we're ready for the upside. Could it be a slow start to the downside? Wait for the bigger flat to confirm that. But you can sell from the top if you want or buy from the bottom if you can manage the trade. So there might be a short sell. I think this would be the running flat. We can clearly make an assumption that that is the running flat there. So we have one. We're probably going to get this here today. We have to go back up this one. So we have to go back up this one. And it depends on how these moves are sharp. If the downside becomes sharper, we'll sell the flags. So if you want to sell this flag, once it breaks the low, you have to get it to break even. If you assume it could drop quite a lot, take it, but get it to break even. UK oil should be the same. Actually, UK oil is much higher, so we can go with an expanding flat. I think we'll go with this as an expanding flat in here. Right? Which means we're looking for this move down. There's a flag there that should bring this move down here to about this level. Go back up, come back down, and that should complete this flat pattern for upside. If this is a slow start to the downside, somewhere here, you'll start to get a bigger flat and then the drop. You wouldn't get the impulse, you get a bigger flat. It's a sell setup if you want it, but you just have to be careful that once they don't even have to break this low, they have to break this low. So it's not a big move. You don't have to get in and get out really fast if it's going to go. Finbold is starting to slow down on the downside. Look for buy setups. You don't want to sell this. You want to look for buy setups. Tesla. Yeah, it's a big flat. Take out the buy. If you want the buy, take the buy from somewhere here. Find the flag somewhere at the bottom here and go back to the top. Eventually, this will break out, but then this will become a flat. You're going to get one more down. Right? I don't think this big correction would be the upside. It could be. It's rare. They make a very big correction and they go back all the way to the top. In a corrective structure, that is possible, which means if you get a flag here, this could come all the way to the top there. If you want to buy this breakout, it could just do this and come back here as a flat, right? We don't know which of those two is going to happen. Would it be a flat or would it come back all the way to the top? Either is possible. And then still go back down. So if you get a flag lower, you have an advantage of getting profit before. So wait for a flag somewhere in here and then take the trade. Don't take it from the top here anymore. Get a flag somewhere in here and then take the trade to the upside. I don't know, somewhere in there, find a flag. I'm just putting it to, there's no flag I said, but giving you an idea. Amazon. Same here, you're getting a flat pattern. Wait for a flag somewhere here. You can actually put an entry above this one. There's a good chance it's going to make a spike. You're pretty low here, right? I think we could come back to these stops, just depending on how we're going to look at this pattern eventually. Right? I think it's making more sense now. You could look at this as the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. This is the sharp one. So you're going to go back here. I don't think that's the end of it. I think this could even become a bigger one here and then go back up. And then probably come down sharp and then go. So it's going to be some kind of a big expanding flat. Like I said, once it starts getting crazy at the top here, wait for a while and then you'll figure out what the pattern is. Eventually they'll show you, right? Again, is this an expanding flat all by itself? Can we look at this as a 1, 2, 3 for a big expanding flat? Then better yet, buy this. If it's an expanding flat, it's going to go through the top. If it's not, it's going to come make some kind of an expanding triangular pattern. Come here, come back down, and then go. So the buy is a good idea there, especially with a big flat forming here. It's a good idea. US 30? Good. What you want here now is a running flat and then maybe one more down. So this piece is coming up here. Remember this one went, it stopped there. They're coming down. They could probably come here, go down one more, give you a flat in this. You have a 1, 2, 3. I don't know where we put this contracting flat, or is that part of a bigger running flat? We'll figure that out. You have 1, 2, 3. And the chances are you're coming back to this stop. All right. So should we take the buy at this level? Well, if you get a very good flag, you take the buy and put it to break even. Right? You'll have to try to get out of it if it doesn't go. Because chances are it could go down. Can we put a sell if this comes up to the top without the flag? Let's say it comes here and without any flag. Can you put a sell here for a possible running flat for this to drop? Absolutely. So when it goes to the top there, you put the sell setup. If it makes a flag, you buy it. Right? We'd assume that, you know, this is all the correction in there. But they're going sideways, and the deeper they come into this move, the deeper they come into this move back at the bottom, the higher the probability as well. You might be going down, but the way this moves with these deep correction, I wouldn't be surprised if they do this and go back up. Stay in this range, right? Stay in the bigger range. It's still going sideways, right? If you take this out, this is the top now. And if you take this out, because we broke out of this already, see? We broke out of that already. This is the first impulse down. This is making a big correction. Then they're going to drop, or that's a bigger correction for upside. See? Depending on how you look at it. I think if we were dropping, we wouldn't get this deep correction here. But we don't know that for a fact, right? This could still come here, make a correction like this, and then drop like that. Right? Normally, you don't get this flat here when they're dropping. You just get the drop. But nobody says we can't make a flat here and then actually drop. And you'll get a big running flat there. So we have to be aware that it is possible. While you're trading in this range here, if this is making a bigger correction for upside, it will probably end up doing something like this. and then go make a bigger one like that. And then go. So let's wait and see which of those two are happening. Go back to the 1 hour and go with the smaller trades you're getting within the range. So the buy here, if you're taking it, you have to be aware of that possible running flat. And the sell is if you sell it, be aware that it might just come to this low and then go back up. The buy is the better idea because you're going to mostly come back to this level, even if you're making a flat. S&P 500, we tried to see if that is going to go. That didn't go. Take it off. You definitely don't want this one now because that could be a running flat, right? So if you're going to take anything here, wait for them to break out of this and make a flag before you buy. Let it totally break out of this structure here and then make a flag here and then go for that trade to the top. Right, so you need this flag to confirm. You need something like this to confirm the next move up. If it's gonna go up, can it come down some more? Yeah, but the sell here is not a good idea anymore. Too much pullback. Nasdaq, you've got this move up and you're literally doing this, which means this could still go back to the top, right? To still come back to the top here and even still come back down here before you go there. But if you get a buy setup here, go for it. So we look for the buy setups in this. DAX, it's back at the bottom. It's going to go back to the top. You can literally see that. Take that out. Try to get a trade from somewhere here on a flag. And you have to be aware that you're in a big, big, big sideways move here. This piece by itself is a big sideways move. All right, we're in this big sideways move, but we're making a bigger one at the bottom here, breaking this low. Can we take this to be the low? If I take this out, can we take this here to be the low? This piece to be the low. And if that is the low, we have a deep correction here and we're getting a deep correction. It doesn't make a lot of sense. We should be going up for the impulse already. It still looks upside. All of this still looks upside. So if you get a trade from here with a flag, take it to break this top and see if that actually comes to the top there. If not, it's going to go back down. We're going to close all of this as a running flat, running flat because we broke the low. Come back down here and then do this. It is still not a down move, but it's just a bigger correction at the top. And Nifty. Nifty is in a big correction here. You will get a short-term buy setup here for me. Back to about this level. Come back down here. Go back up there. Come back down. You'll get a big flat here and then up. So you're just getting a big daily consolidation on the Nifty right now. And you're in the middle of that consolidation. That's a big one when you're in the middle of it. Take this out and take this out. We still have this sharp wave with nothing to go with it. Maybe we can look at a possible running flat. Let's see if we have anything in the past. Oh, we do have one here. You can actually look at this as a running flat right now. You could make an argument for this being a running flat, a big running flat there, because the next move up was a huge impulse. And you could make an argument for this. This was a smaller one of its own at the top there. So you can make an argument for that running flat. So you've got to move up, got a running flat, you've got to move up. This is consolidating for a little more up. Do we have divergence? Nope, not the whole piece, not between this and this. Right, that's a bigger one. But internally in this, do we have divergence? We do. See, you have daily divergence. So this should be a bigger correction. This here should be a bigger correction, which means you're in the middle of it. You have to break the top, come back down here, go back up there, come back here, and then go. Break the top, and if you see divergence again in there, maybe look for a start of a downside. But there's a big correction forming at the top there right now. And you're in the, I think we're in the B part of that one. This is a smaller flat here, but so. I think these two look good. These two look pretty much, you can go with those two as the sharp moves down. And this is pretty sharp, you can see that. So this would be like a WX. If you look at WXYX pattern, this is, you get another correction, maybe as big as this, and then it's it, but not this one. Right, maybe higher, then start going down again for another big correction. Could be a running flat as well, because we have no divergence. So okay, guys, I don't want to keep it too long. Thank you very much. YouTube traders, if you like it, please share it. Make sure you're sharing it with people who are trading and who it might help. I would see all of you sometime this week. Keep your notification on. Thank you very much. Bye.